Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, US Immigration News. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we're going to talk about immigrants prepare action plans after Trump says he will allow ICE to act in schools, churches, and hospitals. As President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration draws near, immigrant families across the United States are facing a heavy emotional burden. With promises to implement one of the largest deportation programs in American history, Trump's administration plans to target millions of undocumented immigrants. As the holidays approach, many immigrants are uncertain whether this will be their last Christmas with their loved ones. In response, immigrant rights advocates and community organizations are mobilizing to help families navigate the uncertainty and prepare for the possible consequences of mass deportations. If you are interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Immigrant families are spending the holidays having difficult conversations in anticipation of President-elect Donald Trump's plan to carry out what he has called the largest deportation program in American history once he's sworn in next month. A lot of us are honestly celebrating Christmas together, thinking, "Oh my God, is this the last time we get to spend Christmas with our family members?" said Felipe Souza Reyes-Abelet, who leads the Hope Community Center, a nonprofit organization outside of Orlando, Florida, that advocates for immigrants and other underserved communities. This is really heart-wrenching. To deliver on Trump's promise to deport more than 11 million undocumented immigrants, the incoming administration intends to roll back policies that restrict immigration enforcement actions in sensitive places like schools, churches, and hospitals, as well as their respective surrounding areas, NBC News reported. There's no way they can deport millions of people if they don't go for the low-hanging fruit, and this is it, Souza Reyes-Abelet said. NBC News spoke with nearly a half-dozen immigrants' rights advocates across 4 states, and they all said they have received an increased number of calls from immigrants asking about their rights. They have also heard questions from community groups, schools, and churches about what their roles are in the face of such possibilities. In response, the advocates and groups are conducting Know Your Rights training and helping vulnerable families prepare plans of action in case an undocumented relative is suddenly detained or deported. In Texas, a new law requiring some hospitals to ask patients about their immigration status is starting to push folks further into the shadows, showing a glimpse into what happens when sensitive locations become targets of immigration enforcement, said Javier Hidalgo, legal director of RACIS, a nonprofit group in San Antonio that advocates for refugees and immigrants. Texas has become a model for immigration crackdown, Hidalgo said, but that has also motivated advocates and nonprofits to provide tools and resources to affected families to curb the detrimental effects of detentions and deportations. These stand to impact nearly 5.8 million U.S. households in which at least one relative is undocumented. Like Texas, Florida will also see the brunt of Trump's immigration policies sooner than other states, since Ron DeSantis has shown himself to be an ally in advancing the incoming president's agenda, Souza Reyes-Abelet said. Similar to what Hidalgo is doing in Texas, Souza Reyes-Abelet in Florida has been facilitating thousands of difficult but necessary conversations to ensure immigrant families have a dignity plan in place. The plan includes redacting power of attorney documents or a guardianship that outlines who will take care of the children left behind if an undocumented parent is picked up by immigration authorities. Souza Reyes-Abelet said this ensures parents don't lose custody of their children to the Department of Families and Children simply because they never made it home after being detained or deported. In Phoenix, Arizona, Jose Patino, Vice President of Education and External Affairs at Aliento, an advocacy organization, is doing the same with its family packets. Patino said it's important for families to sort out legal guardianship over any of their properties and financial accounts to ensure the relatives left behind can access them if the main breadwinner is detained or deported. In Souza Reyes-Abelet's experience, the first 30 to 45 minutes of these kinds of conversations are of just crying, sobbing, and us trying to get people back enough to their senses to craft the plan they need. While preparing for the worst is important, the process also takes an unmeasurable mental health toll on both adults and children in immigrant families as they attempt to continue living through their daily routines, Patino Hidalgo and Souza Lazabella said. RACE is the largest immigration legal services provider in Texas and a leading refugee resettlement agency, has said it's ready to challenge any presidential actions that threaten equitable access to the legal and human right to seek safety in the U.S. If the policy restricting immigration enforcement actions on sensitive locations is rescinded, depending on how the Trump administration executes that, there may be legal ground for a challenge, Hidalgo said. Until then, the organization will remain vigilant. The Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights in Los Angeles plans to do the same, said Jorge Mario Cabrera, its director of communications. Over the past month, the coalition offered 93 Know Your Rights presentations at LA schools, businesses, and organizations that provide community services. As Inauguration Day approaches, Cabrera said he anticipates the demand for these kinds of trainings to increase. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement does not have jurisdiction over our lives. The Constitution does, and we are protected regardless of our immigration status, Cabrera said. On January 20, United We Dream, the nation's largest immigrant youth-led network, plans to reopen the hotline they launched during Trump's first term as president, said Annabelle Mendoza, the organization's interim director of communications. Mendoza said the hotline will provide support to immigrants and anyone affected by immigration enforcement actions in the coming year. No one will be immune to feeling the ramifications and consequences of mass deportations. It affects everybody, she said. That's why United We Dream is also urging elected officials at all government levels to stand with immigrants, but most importantly to take concrete and tangible actions that put up barriers to what we know Trump is planning. That, alongside massive public pressure, would be key to ensuring that immigration enforcement tactics that go against American values don't become the new normal, Patino said. In the meantime, Patino said he is advising undocumented immigrants, especially young ones, to get legal screenings to find out if they are eligible for any kind of relief that may put them on a path to get legal immigration status. For those who are already in that process, Hidalgo recommends they always have their immigration paperwork up to date and carry the documents with them in case of an encounter with an immigration enforcement officer. The looming threat of mass deportations is causing immense anxiety within immigrant communities, prompting organizations to take action by offering legal guidance, preparing dignity plans, and providing emotional support. As the Trump administration's policies move forward, advocacy groups are committed to challenging unjust practices and ensuring immigrants' rights are protected. With continued outreach, legal preparedness, and public pressure, these organizations hope to shield vulnerable families from the devastating impacts of deportation and work towards safeguarding their futures in the U.S. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel US Immigration News. We hope you are doing great. In this video, we are going to talk about Immigrant's Prepare Action Plan after Trump says he will allow ICE to act in his schools, churches, and hospitals. Immigrants or families across the US are grappling with the anxiety of potential deportation as President-elect Donald Trump plans to implement what he has described as the largest deportation program in American history. Many are facing the difficult prospect of spending the holiday, wondering if this will be their last with loved ones. Advocates report an increase in calls from immigrants seeking information on their rights, as well as from community groups and schools asking what roles they might play in the event of deportation. The incoming administration intends to reverse policies that limit immigration enforcement in sensitive areas like schools, hospitals, and churches, aiming to deport more than 11 million undocumented immigrants. Immigrant rights advocates are responding by conducting Know Your Rights training and helping families prepare action plan for potential detention or deportation. In Texas, a law requiring hospitals to ask about immigration status has pushed many immigrants further into the shadows, demonstrating the effects of immigration enforcement in sensitive spaces. Texas has become a model for the crackdown, motivating non-profit groups to provide resources to mitigate the impact on families. Florida is expected to feel the effect of Trump's immigration policies soon. The governor Ron DeSantis supporting the incoming administration agenda, and response groups like the Hope Community Center in Florida are working with families to create dignity plans, including legal guardianship agreement arrangement for children in case a parent is detained. This video aims to ensure children do not end up in state custody simply because a parent was deported. Similar efforts are underway in Arizona, where organizations like Alinto are helping families organize legal guardianship for property and financial matter. The emotional toll on our families in a profound, with many breaking down during this conversion. While preparing for potential depression is a vital, the stress is a causes, especially on the children, is immense. Organizations like Races in Texas are prepared to challenge any action that threaten immigrants' rights, including potential decision of policies protecting sensitive location from immigration enforcement. Other advocacy groups, such as the Coalition for Human Immigrants' Rights in Los Angeles, are increasing their outreach, providing presentation on rights and offering support for affected communities. In the coming month, organizations like United We Dream will reopen hotlines to assist those impacted by immigration enforcement. Advocacy groups are calling on elect officials to take concrete actions to protect immigrants and prevent mass deportation from becoming the norm. Meanwhile, Patino advises undocumented immigrants to undergo legal screenings to explore potential a pathway to legal status. Keeping immigration paperwork up to date is also recommended in case of an encounter with enforcement officers.